Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series where we go over every 2023 Men's College Basketball Conference Tournament. This is the 11th of 32 episodes. This is the CAA tournament, which will be held at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in D.C. First round will start on Friday, March 3rd. Only one game, though. Second round, Saturday, March 4th. Quarterfinal, Sunday, March 5th. Semifinal, Monday, March 6th. And the championship game will be Tuesday, March 7th at 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. All right, to the seeding. All right, your 1 seed is Hofstra, 23-8 overall, 16-2 in conference play. Your 2 seed is Charleston, 28-3 overall, 16-2 in conference play. Your 3 seed is Towson, 20-11 on the year, 12-6 in conference play. Your 4 seed is UNC Wilmington, 22-9 overall, 12-6 in conference play. Your 5 seed is Drexel, 16-14 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. Your 6 seed is Delaware, 16-15 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Your 7 seed is North Carolina A&T, 13-18 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Your 8 seed is William & Mary, 12-19 on the year, 7-11 in conference play. Your 9 seed is Elon, 8-23 on the year, 6-12 in conference play. Your 10 seed is Stony Brook, 10-21 on the year, 6-12 in conference play. Your 11 seed is Northeastern, 10-19 on the year, 6-12 in conference play. Your 12 seed is Hampton, 8-23 on the year, 5-13 in conference play. And your 13 seed is Monmouth, 6-25 on the year, 5-13 in conference play. So, one game on Friday. It's essentially the play-in. Hampton, Monmouth. The winner goes to the second round. Monmouth, very dismal year, moving over from the MAC, the double MAC, or that MAC with the double AC. This was a program that got close a couple times in the Metro Atlantic, but couldn't break through. Their best player is Miles Foster. Hampton, meanwhile, not much better. They have guys. They have 3 that average double digits a game, led by Jordan Nesbitt. My projection here for this match is Hampton. Oh, no, I actually have Monmouth as a 1.2 favorite, which is bizarre. And the total I have projected at 140 3/4, so therefore I'm going to have Monmouth pull off the upset and avoid going 0-3 against Hampton on the season. All right, second round Saturday, March 4th, 12 o'clock Eastern, 8 seed William & Mary, 9 seed Elon. Elon's usually a bottom feeder in this league. 2 guys averaging double digits a game, led by Max McKinnon and Sean Holleran. And then William & Mary, up and down team over the years. 3 averaging double digits a game, led by Anders Nelson. My projection here is William & Mary by 6.3, total 136 and 7/10. So therefore, I have William & Mary advancing. The 2nd to 4th second round games, 13 seed Monmouth, 5 seed Drexel. Drexel's okay this year. Only one guy averaging double digits a game, Amari Williams. I project Drexel 11.7, so therefore I have Drexel advancing. 3rd of 4 second round games, 10 seed Stony Brook and 7 seed North Carolina A&T. Stony Brook comes over from the America East Conference. Their best player is Tyler Stevenson Moore, averaging 14.5 a game. And then you have NCA&T. I think this is their first year over from, I don't remember if it was the MEAC or were they in the Big South for a year and came over. I think they were in the Big South maybe for 1 year. They have a good scorer in Cam Woods, averaging 17 a game. I project NCAT only by 1, though. Total 137 and 7/10, so therefore I have NCAT advancing. 11 seed Northeastern against 6 seed Udell. Northeastern under Bill Cohn usually does well, but the last few years they've been down. Their best player is easily Jameel Telfort. And then Udell made the tournament last year. Their best player is easily Jameer Nelson Jr., averaging 20.5 a game. I project Udell 8.2, total 138.25, so therefore I have Delaware advancing. All right, quarterfinals. First of 4 quarterfinals, 8 seed William and Mary, 1 seed Hofstra, so I have pretty much chalk in the quarterfinals. So Hofstra really went on a run here to earn the 1 seed in this conference. They have a really good scorer in Aaron Estrada, averaging over 20 a game. Very good all-around player, too. I project Hofstra by 14.2, so therefore I project Hofstra to advance. Second to 4 quarterfinal games, 5 seed Drexel, 4 seed UNC Wilmington. Wilmington's kind of got on a little bit of a push lately, too. One guy averaging double figures a game. Trazeen White almost averaging 14 a game. I project Wilmington by 4.8, so therefore I have Wilmington advancing. Third of 4 quarterfinal games, 7 seed North Carolina A&T, 2 seed Charleston. Charleston's probably been the best team in this conference all year, but they stumbled and took a couple of losses. They're probably not going to be an at-large team unless if a lot of these bubble teams drop within the next week and a half, then you could argue maybe. But they got to win this conference tournament. They have 5 guys averaging double figures a game, and almost 6. They're very well-rounded. Dalton Bolin, probably their best player. I project Charleston by 18.2, so therefore I have Charleston advancing. And the last of 4 quarterfinal games, 6 seed Udell, 3 seed Towson. Towson was picked by some people to win this conference before the year. Delaware Towson, very close in terms of distance. 1 state over. Their best player is Nicholas Timberlake, averaging 17.7 per game. I project Towson 4.5, so therefore I have Towson advancing. All right, semifinals, I have chalk as well. 4 seed UNC Wilmington, 1 seed Hofstra. Wilmington has White, but really not much else. Hofstra is a much better team. They have a couple of really good scorers. Tyler Thomas is actually pretty good, too, in addition to Aaron Estrada. I project Hofstra 3.7, so therefore I have Hofstra to the championship in the second of 2 semifinal games, 3 seed Towson, 2 seed Charleston. We talked about Timberlake. He's a good player. Cameron Holden and Charles Thompson are also solid players for Towson. But Charleston is just way more well-rounded, led by Bolin, Pat Robinson III, Ante Brozovic, Rain Smith, and Ryan Larson. That's a really solid and consistent group. I project Charleston only by 4.2, so therefore I have Charleston to the championship. So I have a chalk championship, 2 seed Charleston, 1 seed Hofstra. The case for Hofstra is that they have the best player on the court here in Estrada, maybe even the second best player on the court in Thomas. And they've probably have been the better team in conference play. The case for Charleston is that they're very, very well balanced. They have almost 6 guys averaging double figures per game. They pass the ball a lot. They are a pretty good defensive team. And they're just a pain in the neck. I project Charleston by 2.5, so I got to trust my numbers here and go with Charleston to win the 2023 Colonial Athletic Association tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. So earlier in this podcast, I mentioned the possibility of Charleston being an at-large, but I think they have to win their conference tournament, and some of these bubble teams have to completely fall on their face. Like, say West Virginia loses out, North Carolina loses out, Clemson loses out, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, maybe some teams in the Pac-12 lose out, like USC and Arizona State. Big Ten, Michigan maybe like falters a little bit. So, and Penn State falters. Like a lot has to break right for me to have Charleston be an at-large that could potentially dodge Dayton too. And if Charleston's an at-large, and even if they're not an at-large, I think they're would be my pick to be the Loyola Chicago to go on a deep run. Like I compared Colgate to St. Peter's in the Patriot League show in terms of a mid-major from a smaller conference that could go on a run. And I think that Colgate team is better than St. Peter's, but I think that the Loyola Chicago team that made the Final Four is better than this Charleston team. So if there's anybody that is a surprise Final Four team from like a conference like the Colonial or the Missouri Valley or the OVC or the Sun Belt or somebody like that, my pick, one of my picks would be Charleston to be potentially the Loyola Chicago, the 2018 Loyola Chicago, if I had to make a pick for that. All right, teams that could be in other tournaments. I think if Charleston loses early, they'll be in the NIT. I think Hofstra and Wilmington have a chance to be in the NIT too. Towson maybe. And then like the CBI, the CIT, like those schools plus. I mean, I wouldn't rule out Drexel either or UDEL to potentially go to one of those smaller tournaments. And now a value choice to win the tournament. So the odds, Charleston's minus 110. That's actually, I'd rather would have seen Charleston at plus money. Hofstra's plus 175, Towson 650, Wilmington 15-1, Drexel 22-1, UDEL's 40, Elon 170, Northeastern 180, NCAT 190, William & Mary, Stony Brook, Hampton each 250-1. So if I had to pick a long shot to win this conference tournament, I would have to go with UDEL at 40-1. If I have, if you ask me at gunpoint if there's a long shot to win this conference tournament, I'd go UDEL at 40-1 on FanDuel. Would be my choice for that. All right, that was a longer podcast because the Colonial has 13 teams, so that one had to be a little bit longer than the rest. All right, next up is the Summit League.